Okay, next question. The diagram below shows a gymnast swinging on a horizontal bar. So here you have somebody who takes gymnastics as a sport and swinging around this horizontal bar that is high up. It's like your pull-up bar. Alright, and position 1 shows her starting point. So basically she flips this way, 1 to 2, and then goes to 3 again, and then goes to 4, alright, and then to 5, to 6, to 7, to 8, to 9. So one more time. From here she swings forward first, and then she lets herself move all the way back, and then falls to the ground. Okay? Alright, so at which position does the gymnast possess the most gravitational potential energy? Alright, now we know that gravitational potential energy, you can always ask yourself what you already know. So we do know that the gravitational potential energy, right, really depends on the height of an object, okay, depends on the position or on the height or the distance, right, depends on the height or distance, right, of that object, okay, from the ground, okay, from the ground. So we know that gravitational potential energy of an object depends on the height of that object from the ground. So the lower it is from the ground, the lower the gravitational potential energy. And the higher it is from the ground, the higher the gravitational potential energy. So here in this diagram, the lowest would be where the gymnast is at her lowest point, which is right on the ground. Alright, so here her position, the lowest gravitational potential energy would be at number 9. Similarly, the highest point where the gymnast is at number 5. Now the higher the gymnast is from the ground, the higher the gravitational potential energy. Remember, gravitational potential energy is stored energy an object has as it is further away from the ground. Why? Because the further away the object is from the ground, the further down it can travel. Alright, so imagine if this is the gymnast, alright, and if this is the ground, its gravitational potential energy is only this low, right, before the gymnast touches the ground. Whereas if the gymnast is this up high, then the amount or the distance or the movement that the gravity can pull the gymnast down is much higher. Alright, so which position does the gymnast possess the most gravitational potential energy? Remember, the higher the gymnast is from the ground, the more the gravitational potential energy. So the answer must be position 5, right? Position 5 is where the gymnast would have its highest gravitational potential energy. Alright, now write the energy conversion from position 8 to 9. So at 8, okay, it is still the gymnast is still further away from the ground. That means it still has gravitational potential energy, right? There's gravitational potential energy. Okay, alright, so gravitational potential energy, in fact, if you just write down potential energy, it is okay. Alright, why? Because the boy is the gymnast is above the ground, and she has gravitational potential energy. Okay, now this gravitational potential energy is what do you call that? or change to movement energy, right? Kinetic energy. Yes or no? Kinetic energy. Now we can just put kinetic here. And then as the gymnast lands on the ground, you can have some sound energy, okay, because there'll be a thump, right? Normally there's a thump on the ground. Sound energy plus heat energy. Okay, but seriously, if you were to think about it, right, when he's at position 8, he's not just hanging there without falling, right? Actually, he is already falling. Okay, so my answer would be, alright, it's not just gravitational potential energy. Okay, it is both potential plus kinetic energy. So I would put, okay, the gymnast at position 8 because she is still far away from the ground, so she would have potential energy. That means gravity can still pull her down to the ground, translating or changing that potential energy to kinetic. But at the same time, she is already moving. Remember, she's from position 7 to position 8. So because she's already moving, she would already have kinetic energy. Okay, or kinetic, she already is moving. Therefore, anything that moves, it has kinetic energy. Okay, so I would put my answer as that. You might disagree with me, and if you do disagree with me, do tell me why. Okay, in the website, tinyurl.com/ask Mr. Zaki. Okay, but this is my answer. So potential energy plus some kinetic energy is translated to even more kinetic energy, all right, as it falls to the ground. Okay, but if you were to put just kinetic energy, if you just put potential energy, I think you are correct too. Okay, it's just that I think that it's not just potential energy here, but also potential plus kinetic. Okay, so there's a possibility of that answer there. Alright, so potential energy is converted to kinetic energy, and it is converted to sound plus heat energy. Now, what is the source of the gymnast energy? The source of the gymnast energy has got to be the energy that allows the gymnast to swing and move. Alright, so the source of the gymnast energy would be the chemical energy, chemical potential energy that the gymnast gets from eating. Right, so the source of the gymnast energy, okay, my answer would be the chemical potential energy, okay, that the gymnast gets from food. Okay, so this is my answer. Now again, if you disagree with me, and you have the right to disagree, okay, and then if you disagree with my answer, we can have a good discussion, a good conversation. Go to my website, okay, www.tinyurl.com, okay, /ask Mr. Zaki. It's actually not my website, it's actually a Titan pad, a little place where we can discuss. Okay, but as of now, this is my answer, until you can prove me otherwise. Okay, so thank you very much. That would be this video.